So, y'all, I'm on my way to Hagerstown, Maryland. I got a little driving to do. It's about 6 hours in total from where I was in Greenville. I figured that I would come in here and get some shit off my chest about Black Lives Matter. Now, I meant to go live the other day and do this, but I got busy with my kids and then had to drive up here, and you know, I didn't get a chance to go live with y'all, but I'll get it all off my chest now. This video may be a little longer, but I will advise you to listen to what's being said before you make your comments or have your disagreements or whatever the fuck you're gonna be into as far as the commentary is concerned. Set aside a little time to hear me all the way out. That's all I ask. And you know, when I posted on my Instagram, if you're not following me on Instagram, links in the description box to follow me on Instagram. I had posted on my Instagram that I don't fuck with Black Lives Matter. You've never seen me hashtag Black Lives Matter, even when they, you know, showed up or were created. I never was one that was down with Black Lives Matter because I never saw the logic into trying to convince a society that I matter. I'm not trying to convince anybody that I matter. That just wasn't a power position, in my opinion. It was more of a beggar's position, in my opinion. And I get tired of black people being in that position anyway. And then, once you find out that George Soros, a cave, is funding Black Lives Matter, and then you find out that the LGBT are the creators of Black Lives Matter, in which case the black man is not a priority, that was just extra caveat to me because I didn't agree with the hashtag in itself. And then a lot of people, their issue with Black Lives Matter is that they're funded by George Soros. It is that they are, you know, what seemingly be anti-black man, and it's an LGBTQ movement. Those are the people in positions of power in this movement. Those are would be the tip of the iceberg of the issue that I have with Black Lives Matter. Because then what I notice about Black Lives Matter is I only see these people, I only see the organization when a black man or woman is brutalized by the cops. 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up. That's the only time I see these people. So then what it looks like is, well, black death or black brutality matters, you see. And to me, for them to only show up at these times, and this is when they're highlighted during these times, they're not dealing with actual black life. They're not dealing with the actual black experience in full. And if you're not dealing with the experience in full, I don't fuck with you. That's my, you know, just based on what the movement puts out here in the streets. If you're not going to deal with this shit in full, and some of y'all have watched my other lives, I don't fuck with motherfuckers that don't deal with it, with our struggle in full. If you're not going to do the whole thing, I don't need you to come do a piece of it. Because our situation is deeper than police brutality. It's deeper than police murdering our people in the streets. Now, this is an issue that we deal with out here in this society, but that's not all. Because again, as I mentioned before in my live, there is an entire system that allows these police to get off. And we must deal with that system as well. And as we're dealing with that system, we must also deal with the fact that these people keep us out of being in competitive markets. We'll tell our children that if you're black, you have to work 2, 3, 4 times as hard. And to us, that's normal. This is a barometer of the climate that it is for black life. Black life is more than just the police getting off with murder. It's more than that. And that's my issue with Black Lives Matter. And them allowing themselves to be used as a slogan and not really having any hard lines as to where the line is drawn. People are using that hashtag to act like they're down. You see all these caves in the streets talking about Black Lives Matter. But when Black Lives Matter go sit down, let's say Black Lives Matter go sit down, those caves still aren't going to be in the streets. And I also mentioned this. If it takes me to show up for you to give a fuck, then you never gave a fuck. Or you'd have been out there. You would have been out there in them streets. So I don't trust these corporations that are using Black Lives Matter to manipulate our people. We know you don't give a fuck. Y'all see me post about, hell, it was Bezos the other day. I saw that shit on Amazon talking about they care. Like, motherfucker, you damn near worth $1 trillion and you won't even pay your employees. So Black Lives Matter allow themselves to be used as well. And they won't come out here and expose the fact that they're being used because they don't mind it. They should be against that. They should stand firmly in being against being used as a slogan when you know these motherfuckers don't care about you. And y'all done seen these cave holes in the street. Have y'all seen them? Out here holding up black dildos and shit. Talking about they care about black dicks, so therefore they care about black lives. That should be called out. Black Lives Matter should be called out like, hold on a second, cave hole. Let's take a second here because it's because of you pointing out black people historically, acting like they done raped you, knowing you was sucking black dick. And black men, let me let you in on a little secret. You motherfucking black men that's laying in the caves, let me let you in on a little secret. They may care about your black dick, but your existence that's connected to that dick, they could give a fuck less about. Understand that. And they show you that. And they've shown you that historically, but your coon ass hasn't been able to see it. They may care about your dick, having sex with you, fetishizing you. But they do not give a fuck about you because it was at their finger point. They pointed you out as the rapist, and they always have. When it comes down to them versus their caves, they're going to stand with the caves. When shit get real, they're going to stand with the caves. They may cry a little tear for your motherfucking ass, but they're going to point you out and say you raped them. That has been a historical fact. Doesn't matter how you feel or how far in the caves that you are. That's historical fact. These bitches was the one pointing you out. These bitches are the ones calling the cops on us, on our people. It's them calling them. Now y'all make light of these cave assholes. You call them Karens. You call them Becky's. You know, Barbecue Susan. Y'all come up with these little stupid ass names for them. But at the end of the day, it's white supremacy. And they're costing you lives and getting your ass locked the fuck up. Black Lives Matter allow themselves to be used this way. You've seen that I posted this on Instagram as well, where they painting streets in state capitals. Black Lives Matter painted in the goddamn streets. Black Lives Matter okay with being used like that. But if Black Lives Matter was to go ask these state capitals or the states in general, who the fuck is filling your prisons up? Who filling your prisons up? Because fact of the matter is, they may not kill us in the streets. They may not beat our ass in the streets, but they are targeting our people very specifically. And we're filling their prisons up. So now you got states out here acting like they care about black life. Well, if you care about black life so much, why don't you let out all black, non-violent criminals then? If you're trying to restore and rebuild and repair and all this shit that they faking like they trying to do. Motherfuckers donate money to organizations. What the fuck does that have to do with our fathers being in prison for no good goddamn reason? If these all 50 states are acting like they care about black lives, okay, well, how about you make marijuana legal on a federal level and release every fucking prisoner you have based on marijuana? If Black Lives Matter. I mean, if this is what we're saying, because again, it's bigger than cops, 3Ks murdering our people. There's an entire system that enforces that behavior. I'm not just gonna look at cops. they're not going to get the brunt of my rage. It's not just going to be them. It's the whole goddamn system. I see everything. And if you're going to be talking about black life, then you need to deal with everything. They just show up when a white cave-ass cop murders or brutalizes a black person. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag say his or her name. It's bigger than that. And if you can't see that, if you're not going to be willing to understand that, then you are being manipulated as well. Because now your fight is against the cops. Let's say the cops stop murdering black people. Let's say they stop doing that completely, because we've seen that the Lance Bottoms, we talked about that in my last live, where they're going to go look at and kind of analyze the force that cops use. What about the complete economic disenfranchisement, though? What about that? What about the fact that, hell, our men and women are filling up the prisons more than the dominant society is filling up the prisons? How about that? Because, hell, they could stop brutalizing you, stop killing you. They still locking your ass up. They still planting drugs on you and shit. You're still getting harsh mandatory minimums. That's still a reality. So we have to deal with the whole issue. I can't just deal with a piece of the issue, because the cops, 3Ks, are just the enforcing hand of white supremacy. They're a piece. And Black Lives Matter don't deal with the whole thing. So then, in my mind, they're not dealing with black life. And them allowing themselves to be used in any old type of way is trash to me. And you can't trust these motherfuckers. And that's outside of Soros. That's outside of the LGBTQ. That's outside of that. Look at when they show up. Look at when you hear from them. This is a daily struggle that we're in. And you got a lot of people that are using this to try to get clout. They're using this shit for clout. Even black folk. Knowing damn well you ain't been saying nothing. You ain't been caring. And just like Black Lives Matter would show up for, say, for example, a Philando Castile, which happened in the same place that Brother Floyd was murdered. After they got done showing up for Philando Castile, made a hashtag out of his name, Black Lives Matter. Once that went away, motherfuckers forgot all about it. They forgot all about it. And y'all are allowing the caves to infiltrate. Y'all allowing corporations to infiltrate and take over. Now black people on some kumbaya shit. Well, just because this cave held up a sign and said Black Lives Matter, they must be on my side. Just because a black person holds up a sign that says Black Lives Matter, they must be done cooning. Being sellouts. They're allowing themselves to be used, and they aren't calling any of this shit out. But they wouldn't. Because it is a shill organization. It's planted. That shit is not real. And if black people don't understand that, if we don't get a grips of what we're doing, it's going to fall apart. You got people protesting all over the nation, all over the world. I think it's a beautiful thing to see so many people, black people, standing for something. That's beautiful to me. But if you just gonna sit down because your legs get tired, then you trash. Because this is a long game. This is a long game that we have to be ready for. We have to have the endurance for. And understand the people who were shaming the protesters, talking about how much we need to go to the polls, the people that are manipulating this and making all this shit about getting Trump out of office. The people that were protesting, that have been protesting, have gotten more than voting has gotten done in 50 fucking years. I posted this on my Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, the link's in the description box. What does that tell you about this fallacy of voting? We have to stop allowing ourselves to be manipulated. We have to. People been saying there ain't no power in voting the whole time. Black people have still been taken to the polls because that's the easiest thing to do. What has some of the legislation that they've introduced, some of the conversations that are being had, that didn't come through no goddamn voting. So you motherfuckers that be talking about voting all the time, that try to shame black people into voting all the time, and we've been talking about this for years. You need to sit your motherfucking ass down now, right? Now we know you're not going to apologize because it's not in you to admit that you was wrong as fuck, and you have been wrong for decades. You're not going to admit that. But it's about time you sit your ass down. And anybody that's still touting this goddamn rhetoric, even though we know it's ridiculous, and we've seen the fact in our lifetime, modern day, you don't have to go back to the civil rights era, you don't have to go back to the plantation. We've seen this in modern times right now. The rhetoric that black people need to go vote to get certain rights and all this shit, that is trash. And anybody continuing to say it, you should be looking at them bitches side-eye. They're Democratic motherfucking shills. That's what they are. They're misleading you. They're lying to you. Black people are at our strongest. We are at our most effective. We can make shit happen if we just stand together, no matter where the fuck you are. You stand together. You don't have to hashtag Black Lives Matter. Again, I've never hashtag Black Lives Matter, but I'm always standing with my people, no matter where I am. That's what it takes for us. That's what's going to move us forward. Being unified for a common cause, and being unified for the entire black experience. Not just a piece of it, like Black Lives Matter. That's trash. It's not coming through voting. That's trash. Now, I know y'all want to get Trump out of office, and y'all made him the face of racism. That's trash. And we have to stop having these minuscule ass, short-sighted mentalities and see the entire picture. It's America. 3 Ks. Don't get this shit fucked up. Incorporated. Do not allow these corporations to get off easy because they're talking about they care about black lives. They're donating to, I've seen a lot of people donating to Colin Kaepernick's fund, and that was looked at as a big play. Colin Kaepernick was another shield. Used him to talk about one piece of the problem, to focus all our energy on simply just police brutality. There's more going on. And you have to see that. We don't know where the fuck this money is going. Give that money straight to the fucking communities. Let that go into building infrastructure that is black owned. Investing it in people, black people who have businesses that are having problems finding funding. I don't need you to donate money to fight against police brutality. What the fuck is that? There don't need to be no money dedicated to that. Police reform. There needs to be no money dedicated to that. Motherfucker, you tell these bitches what to do. That's it. There needs to be no money dedicated to no damn police reform, and y'all black people need to stop being so hype about that. That's nothing. It doesn't take money to convince people to do anything. You tell them not to fucking do it. Next time you shoot a black person unjustly, well, we gonna kill your motherfucking ass. No money, no need for a fund, nothing like that. They always talking about investing money in the black communities, but we don't ever see it. All they come do is build a white corporation that's going to continue to use black people like they always do. Give that money directly to the goddamn people. Go fix Flint's water. What are y'all talking about? A fund. Police reform. You're not going to reform all these fucking cops. That's not going to happen. You have to put consequence there, and that doesn't cost money. Donating to Kaepernick has not built anything within the black community. Give that money directly to the goddamn people. To the people that are going to invest in the black community. Actually invest. Y'all, we letting people off easy because of all this symbolic shit that they're doing, tossing money around, when we know that they've been tossing money around and that ain't meant nothing for black people. Hasn't stopped anything. The entire process, the justice system is trash. Not just its foot soldiers. The Supreme Court, trash. Federal courts, trash. Traffic courts, trash. The entire system is trash. And that's what the focus needs to be on. The conversation needs to be being had about reparations. Where is Black Lives Matter on that? We need to make sure that people understand that we're not to be fucked with. You can't pull the wool over our eyes. We are more intelligent than that. We need to show them that we not just out here fucking around trying to be trendy. Because I feel like a lot of us are just doing this shit to be trendy. We have to be serious about this shit. We can't play about this shit. It can't be something that disappears in some weeks. This is a daily struggle. And I don't see Black Lives Matter out here daily. I don't see them using their platforms daily to talk about more than just police brutality. The system is rigged against our people. And until black people are able to see that, they'll continue to use trendy movements and hashtags to appease us. Black people so happy that white people are acknowledging them. Look, y'all, we got white allies. Y'all so fucking hype. Self-esteem is low as fuck amongst our people. All these caves have to do is hold up a sign. Speak a little bit of truth. And we're ready to accept them. We don't even forgive our own like that. We're so ready to forgive these people and accept these people. But it's going to take more than that for me. I'm not easily impressed at all. Some motherfuckers think because of that, it makes me an asshole. But I'm not going to be in this space and have been in this space have taken my L's being in this space. Somebody shows up and holds up a sign and automatically they put right here where I'm at. Now all of a sudden, we together. No, I won't allow that. I will not allow that shit. You don't get to do that to me. Of course, you got these celebrities out here acting like they down, acting like they just woke up and realized they was black. All of a sudden they black for a minute. You know how they do. They play these games with black people. And in a month they right back to cooning. Hell, if that. A lot of people using this movement for photo ops. Going to stand down and protest. To get pictures taken. Hey, look, I'll be black for a couple of hours. I'll stand with my people for a couple of hours. And then run right back to the motherfucking hills, close the doors in their mansion, and that'll be all that they do. This shit needs to be called out. We need to let everybody know that you cannot manipulate us. You can't keep playing with this shit. Because that's what this system relies on. It relies on us having a big boost of energy. And then that energy just disappearing. It relies on us hashtagging shit and then forgetting all about it. It relies on that. Do y'all know that the cops, 3Ks, that murdered Breonna Taylor haven't even been arrested or brought up on any charges? Y'all know that? And then you got the whole world running around talking about justice for Brother Floyd. I see murals go up, and again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we have to be focused, and it's not just him. And the people that was responsible, they've been arrested, and we celebrate that like they're gonna be charged. And then we'll act like, well, if they do be charged, then we'll be happy. Like that, it's more than that. It's bigger than that. And Breonna Taylor, the motherfuckers that murdered her, still out here chilling. Black woman murdered, not doing anything wrong, because y'all know y'all love telling black folk to comply. Here's what you do to live when you come to face with police. Y'all know y'all love that coward shit y'all be on. Buck your eyes extra hard, and then they won't kill you. Well, she was in bed. And people out here playing with this shit. It's a joke to us. I can only hope that, as we always say, and as y'all watch that live I hope we keep the same energy. But if your energy is connected to a Black Lives Matter, then you need to sit your ass down. That's how I feel. Because when they go sit down, and they always do go sit down somewhere, they end up being happy about whatever's going on, and they'll go sit their asses down, and they see streets getting painted with their names on it, and people holding up signs with their hashtag on it. Well, essentially, they'll go sit down. And what happens with black folk is they'll go sit down with them. Like, whoo, man. Well, we got them to at least look at the amount of force that the cops use, so, whew, our work is done. Go vote Democrat. They play these types of games with black people. And black people just follow them along. Like that shit's okay. I will never be a supporter of Black Lives Matter. I refuse to do it. I wouldn't give a damn if George Soros was a black man. I wouldn't give a damn if the women that started were heterosexual women. I wouldn't give a fuck about none of that shit if they were still out here only dealing with a piece of the issues that black people are suffering from. I refuse to trust an entire society that's sitting here acting like they care about black lives. Meanwhile, the laws have been written against us. And we're still filling their prisons. I'm not going to believe you motherfuckers until something transformative happens. Something revolutionary happens. Like you legalizing marijuana on the federal level in all states. You stopping, the fact that they're stopping black people from getting these licenses because we don't have the money to get these licenses. Give black people the licenses for free, you bitch ass motherfuckers. I don't need you holding a sign that says Black Lives Matter. I don't need that. Give black people free licenses. Give them grants to start the marijuana businesses. And I'm just using marijuana as an example because it's one that comes up a lot and it's one that's put our people in prison a lot. So I'm just using this as an example. But there are many others. There's all types of businesses out here that could be started by our people. Motherfucker, give us the free grants. If Black Lives really matter, if you really care. Wipe our credit slate clean. Give us all 850s, goddammit. Don't be telling me that Black Lives Matter if you're not doing anything transformative to show such. I don't need a motherfucker that's worth $1 trillion and Jeff Bezos to tell me my life matters when Flint's water is still fucking poison. I don't need that. I don't hear Black Lives Matter talking about them, those black people water up there that's still poison. That wasn't, hell, people don't even really be talking about or even thinking about that anymore. They're just giving money just to make themselves feel better. Water still poison, governor still not in prison. So you can't tell me that Black Lives Matter. Even Black Lives Matter can't tell me they care about Black lives because there's just so much going on at all times that they're not talking about. They're not dealing with. And these companies and corporations that are acting like they care, no, you don't. Amazon, and again, I'm just using Amazon because he's one of the richest motherfuckers in the world. Go fix that water real quick. Why don't you lobby? Use some of that money that you have, as this corrupt system allows for lobbying, which should be dealt with. But again, this is me. I deal with the entire thing. Lobbying should be, should be unconstitutional, if you ask me. It should be illegal. But why don't you corporations use some of your lobbying power? Why don't you buy off some judges like y'all been doing to lock up black people? Why don't you go buy off some of these goddamn these Supreme Court motherfucking judges and get marijuana legalized on a federal level across the goddamn nation? Why don't you do that? These are just examples, y'all. Why isn't things like this happening? Why they sitting around talking about Black Lives Matter? While we watched them in our face turn opioids into a fucking crisis because it was the caves that was going through that. But the crack epidemic was something that saw entire families and communities be destroyed. Our communities be destroyed by that. While they were locking our fathers up. Where's Black Lives Matter on that? Because that's really happening. I see signs as I'm out here on the highway all the time. I see signs talking about some opioid and, somebody suffering from it. And this many people die from opioids. And call this 1-800 number if you need some help. That's really happening. And that's whether a cop decides that he's going to take a black life or not. That's actually happening all the time. We're in that. That's a continuous thing that's happening. Where the fuck are these organizations then? They're not dealing with that. So you can't tell me that you're the representative of black life if you only come out for black death. It's oxymoronic, hypocritical if you ask me. You don't get to do that. And you cave motherfuckers don't get to hold no sign and gain my trust. You don't get to do that. And you black people that are so impressed with this, it shows your low self-esteem and that coon ideology that you still have. I don't need white people to come and agree that my life matters. I don't need them to agree with that. I don't need them to finally see that. I need them to storm the fucking capitals like they did when they were stuck in the house for COVID, which oddly we don't know what happened to that, but that's a subject for another day. But storm the capitals and demand that black people be released from prison. Storm the Capitol and demand that we be released for these non-violent drug offenses, all while you watching your people make millions off of marijuana, while 95% of the business is owned by the caves. This is why we can't talk about equality, y'all. We can't talk about equality. Because equal is 50-50. Or, if you don't like that, it's 100-100. Then it becomes that then. If you don't like the 50-50, it can be 100-100. But that's what's even. That's what's fair. But that's all the fuck I wanted to say. I posted it, I didn't give a fuck. I don't fuck with Black Lives Matter. And I told y'all I will explain it. Well, that's it. That's my explanation right there. It looks to me that only Black death matters. And that's fine. And I understand that. And I get that. But it's more than that. We could deal with the fact that our women are dying during childbirth at a 300% higher rate. I mean, there's so much. There's so much going on. Our women and kids going missing due to organ harvesting is real. Sex trafficking is real. And this shit is high up in these so-called these political figures. They involved in this shit. Our people dying in hospitals, having our organs harvested and stolen. Pedophiles running all through the goddamn government. But Black Lives Matter only show up when a cave-ass cop brutalizes or murders a black person. That's problematic for me. And stop letting, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off. I promise I'm going to leave y'all alone after this. Stop letting motherfuckers tell you that black people only care about black lives when it is at the hand of a white cop. There have been organizations in hoods, black communities. There have been organizations of black people that has been telling these stupid ass, ignorant ass, coon ass gang members to stop killing each other. And that's been since I was a child. I knew about that because I grew up in the hood. And they were always marching in the streets. Now the sad part is that these coon ass gang members, yes, I'm calling y'all coons. If you got a problem with that, I mean, you can come sue, whoop, crack, or whatever the fuck you gotta do. You need to be doing that shit against white supremacy. You dumb motherfucker. Why don't you go sue your little ass up there to the state capitol? To the police department. Sue that. Rolling 20s and all that. Roll your dumb ass up on the goddamn cops that's murdering your people. With y'all's dumb asses. But in black communities, there has been organizations that have been begging these fucking coon ass niggas to stop the violence against our own people. Stop the retribution. Stop killing each other. Even though we understand that crime is a matter of proximity. To act like these organizations don't exist, and this is before Black Lives Matter even fucking showed up. The organizations typically don't have funding. So when y'all giving y'all money to Colin Kaepernick, when y'all giving y'all money to all these little stupid ass organizations, what about you go check in the neighborhoods where there have been black men and women, and a lot of it is really, it's been black women. Let's just be real. That have been on the front lines trying to get these motherfuckers to stop killing themselves. Those organizations don't have the funding. They exist though. So stop allowing, because this is a cave argument and a coon ass argument. They'll try to say this type of shit. Organizations exist. The fact that you don't know about them, that you don't give a fuck about them, is due to them lack of being, them getting the funding and a lack of them being publicized due to lack of the funding. Because the cave media isn't going to show you that, because they still want to keep having that same argument. Well, it seems that black people just don't care about it unless it's a white cop killing them. They want to keep that argument going, so they're not going to put the spotlight on these black organizations that have been doing this fucking work for my whole life. They're not going to do it. They're not going to talk about it. So stop allowing yourself to be manipulated. You stop letting these fucking caves have this argument against your people. You stop letting these coons, because these coons are disgusting about it. These self-hating ass coons, they're disgusting. Because they'll act like they all smart and shit, but refuse to see that these organizations do exist. They have always existed, but nobody wants to act like they actually exist. That's trash. And stop letting these motherfuckers also. Okay, I promise after this I'm gonna stop. Alright? I'm trying to. Also, stop letting these motherfuckers pull on your religious strings to manipulate you. Stop letting them do that to you. Now, I know that black people are, with this Jesus shit, but you've been praying all this damn time and ain't nothing happened until you took to the goddamn streets. What does that also, because I asked y'all what that say about voting, what does that also tell you about y'all's Jesus now? Right? But stop letting these motherfuckers use that, let your level of humanity to manipulate you into being on some kumbaya shit. You should be mad. And you should not be so accepting. Because y'all treat the caves like they are your Lord and Savior. So stop being so accepting of these motherfuckers just because they show up and hold a sign, y'all. And Black Lives Matter should be calling this out, but they won't, because they like being used. To them, it's all about getting publicity, and it doesn't matter what kind of publicity they get. I'm not willing to beg and tell nobody that my life matters. They know what the fuck's going on. They've been knowing what the fuck's going on, and then they have done nothing transformative to change it. This symbolic shit, I don't need it. I don't want it. It should be transformative things happening right now if they're going to claim all of a sudden that they actually care about black lives. And that's the bar that we should hold them to. Point blank, plain and simple. But that's really all the fuck I want to say. I'm going to leave y'all alone now about this. But I explained it. If you watch this point and you're still confused, leave the comments or questions or whatever in the description box. If you disagree, if you just think I'm always being negative, whatever. But at least hear me all the way to this point before you decide to have whatever thing you're going to say it. Just hear me out and understand that I'm into us focusing on the big picture, and I'm into us standing all day, every day, black first, second, and third, all the time. When it's uncomfortable, when it's comfortable, when it's trending, when it's not trending. Because it's the same type shit niggas do during Black History Month, where they'll have a little piece of pride and it goes away. And the people who have been in this space, we've been standing up. So hopefully y'all legs don't get tired. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Hit the link or click the bell to get the notifications, y'all. Follow me on social media. Those links are in the description box. Some people be telling me they're looking for me. Well, all the links are there. They're all there. So I'm not hard to find. And again, I'll say black first, second, and third. And we not fucking with Black Lives Matter. We don't need that. We see that these motherfuckers don't show up all the time, every day, all day like we do. and we don't respect it. Shout out Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. I'm out.